Nature's skyriders. Their kingdom is the air, and men of the earth have watched since time began, watched and wondered what was their secret of flight. And through the years, man has striven to conquer these infinite boundaries of space. Two brothers named Wright fashioned themselves wings to fly, added a motor for a heart, and at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina in 1903, left Mother Earth under their own power for a non-stop flight of 12 seconds. And so the Wright brothers abandoned their earlier method of gliding for the motor-powered airplane, and the glider was left in its wake merely as a bird of sport. This permits almost vertical landing, and this golfer in a few minutes, and without the Sunday traffic jam, is ready to tee off for an early morning round. This amphibian-type plane is popular with the flying fishermen because of its ability to take off from land or sea. Taxiing along the river runway is a sport in itself. Flying sprays cover the windows, and there's a submarine sensation as the skyline disappears from view.
In 27, Lieutenants Lester J. Maitland and Albert F. Hagenberger piloted an Air Corps monoplane, the Bird of Paradise, over 2,400 miles non-stop from Oakland, California to Hawaii in 24 hours and 50 minutes. This pioneering flight in a Fokker trimotor contributed outstanding information on all-weather flying and navigation, and opened the wide Pacific to air operations for the first time. Averaging only about 100 miles per hour in the face of continual headwinds, navigating to a small island in the vast Pacific was an outstanding achievement in the annals of flight. The Bird of Paradise flew over 2,400 miles non-stop from California to Hawaii. The date, June 28, 1927.
Well, a windmill will raise water, so why shouldn't it raise an airplane? Perhaps that's what Mr. Jonathan Caldwell thought when he designed and built this contraption, which is being shown to the public for the first time. The mill wheels going round are supposed to represent the flapping wings of a goose. The wheels turn all right, but it just won't leave the ground, not even when they drag it. It moves, though. A good idea just the same, Professor. Better luck next time.
No, it's not an airplane, and it isn't a balloon. It's a spindle airship. The new invention. The Papa, the inventor, will explain the idea for us.
In place of wings, we use spindles on this ship. The large ones are the main lifters, and the small ones act as stabilizers. This is done by spiraling, so that the landing speed would be about 5 to 10 miles per hour.
Now, as they revolve, the spindles, with their little indentations, are creating a lifting vacuum above. Engineers predict the spindles will be more efficient than the wings of an airplane. There's only this about the spindle airship. She hasn't flown yet, but who can say she won't?
Meet the professor, folks.
For 20 years, he's been watching the Killylouberg and has finally discovered what makes it fly. All it takes is a tank full of oxygen, a left-handed monkey wrench, and a couple of nuts. Here we go. History in the making. It's the happiest day of the professor's life. Let's hope he's put salt on his tail. Going. That's all.
Folks, here I am with a new device called the ornithopter. This device, I expect to attain flight in the air. Through a system of leverage advantage, plus a man's physical power, I believe it's possible to fly as a bird. And here I am. You can look this device over. It appears heavy. It's light.
Well, that sounds okay if it works. But if Bertie doesn't fly, when he makes that jump, he's going to get a real cold bath. Here he goes. Splasho. Well, he got the bath all right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll show you how this works.
Couldn't get excited about the possibilities of this clumsy contraption, daddy of the helicopter, as it soared a full 24 inches into the air. And some of the new ideas in planes made us think that aviation was dropping into its second childhood.
Glen Curtis, an American pioneer of flight, was also present at the French meet. Curtis was the first American to use wheels on an airplane. Nobody was quite sure what an airplane ought to look like or sound like. The Alasar was a two-wing plane with the two wings in a rather unusual position. A French critic called this the most chic airplane in the meet. Any cyclist could fly, providing his legs were strong enough and his wings were long enough. This was another early experiment. You began in the air on a string. You ended in the air on a string.
And those guys with their flying bicycles hadn't given up either. Get this guy. Crazy pogo stick, huh? Some guys never gave up. This fella couldn't make up his mind whether to build a glider or a sloop. I guess he called it a Gloop. You know, funny thing, it flew a little.
Still trying to find ways to fly like a bird. Like this gentleman. For reason or reasons unknown, he didn't quite make it.
yes, even jets for bicycles. Well, if not now, eventually, maybe.
Problems of the near future are going to be vastly changed. Here's a fellow dropping out of the blue to inquire the way to a friend's house. Seems his road map is a little confusing. The strange air car hovers a few feet off the ground while the pilot gets directions. And the policeman of the future is likely to have new problems thrust upon him. Every man his own prophet as far as the helicopter is concerned.
Purpose of defending a nation, these birds have claws. Giant bombers of the United States Air Corps have become our second line of defense. But as the dreadnought of the sea needs the convoy of smaller and faster craft, so these dreadnoughts of the air need fast-flying pursuit planes for convoy and counterattack. In patrol formation, these pursuit planes scout the sky for enemy bombers. They no longer stunt around bombers in a confusion of crossfire as in the First World War. Instead, they peel off one by one, present their fire in a power dive that sometimes reaches 400 miles an hour, and zoom back to repeat the process, thereby confusing and diverting the bomber's gun. An important addition to the great modern navies is the airplane carrier. This floating aerodrome nests a flock of Seahawks with a sharp sting. With the drop of the starter's flag, these scouting planes are off to scour the seas for hundreds of miles around. With their ability to observe gunnery progress from great heights and communicate with the ship's gunners by radio, these sky riders of the sea are the keen eyes of a mighty navy. The giant bomber's peacetime counterpart, the transcontinental airliner. Crack mechanics check every detail, and at gate number 2, passengers board plane number 5 at New York Airport for all points west. It's a far cry from the Wright brothers' first flight of 110 feet to this luxury liner of the air, with its powerful motors eating up the horizon as fast as it appears.